2. Check me out right here, yo. Turn the track up a little bit.
Peace, peace, peace. It's your international sales and marketing hitman, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and you already know what it is, man. You're rocking with the best, you heard? So we gotta get started for our weekly notary sales meeting. So what are we covering today? Okay, let me just give you a quick rundown of what we're gonna cover today. How to effectively market your notary services. Let me turn this track down. Let me turn this track down a little bit. Okay, how can we effectively market your notary business for potential clients? Then we're going to go over what pricing strategies should I use to competitively sell my notary services. Are there specific target markets or industries that you should focus on when selling your services? And we're probably going to go over a few advertising channels you should utilize to reach a wider audience for your notary services. Certain things that I'm seeing notaries do right now, as far as on social media, is not the most effective. So I will give you guys a couple of strategies on that. I should be being joined by my brother Tech on this one. So we're gonna go right into it, man. What's happening? What's happening? Yes, it is live. Yes, it is live. So you could type in your question, put your question in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. No question. So, all right. So how can I effectively market my notary service to potential clients? So there's a couple of markets out there that are very, very effective, right? One that I know of that I would suggest getting some coaching on that, or at least getting a course on it, because Thumbtack can run you some money if you're not doing it effectively. I repeat. Hey, what's up, Linda? How are you, dear? If you are not doing Thumbtack effectively, because here's the thing with Thumbtack, right? It's a pay per lead system, which is cool. Like, it's like, you know, Google ads, Facebook ads, or anything like that. But here's the thing. Thumbtack technically doesn't set it up where you can talk to the person over the phone, which is interesting. So you have to be really, really quick in responding via text. Now, my brother Tech has a nice system. I would highly suggest that you get Thumbtack for Notaries, the book. He has the prompts, he has videos, he has all of these things with that. Really, really good, because your response rate, you have a very small window to respond and actually close the deal with that client. So Thumbtack, you have to be like on that, man. As soon as it hits you, you're responding back. And I believe the way he does that, he responds to them to call him back, right? So it's an interesting method. But Thumbtack, from what I've seen and when I've used it, it does attract a higher quality lead. It attracts a higher quality lead. So Thumbtack is one of them. If you guys do not have your Google business listing already, like activated and running and verified, you need to do that immediately. Okay, it's free to do. You can simply go on your Google tab where there's the those dots, and then select Google listing. Matter of fact, let me just show you guys where it's at. And then you guys could go ahead and kind of knock that out. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull that up for you. Share my screen. Chrome. I'm gonna pull that up for you. Okay, so it's right here. It's in this little, these dots right here, okay? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna click on those dots. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna scroll down until you get to here. Business, it's called Business Profile Manager now. Business Profile Manager. So you click on that, and it's going to send you to a page where you will set up your Google business listing. If you have not done that for your business yet, I highly suggest that. Okay. Very, very effective. It'll probably, once you get verified, you're probably going to have phone calls coming in like immediately once you get verified. So that's the great thing about the Google business listing. Another one that gets slept on a lot is Bing business listing. Bing, owned by Microsoft. I would highly suggest you go get Bing business listing. A lot of people sleep on Bing. Now, Bing is another, and it's free. So it doesn't cost you anything. It'll just cost you a little bit of time, but you'll be able to take care of that in like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So those are my top 3 choices. Now here's another one that I use a lot. It's called Notary Cafe. Notary Cafe is one of my favorites when I'm looking for notaries to dispatch to different locations. Really, really good. I would highly suggest going to notarycafe.com and getting the pro version. Now, I'm not being sponsored or endorsed by those guys, but I do use their services, and it is really, really good. Let's see. Let me see. Now, here's what I would suggest as well. What I look for when I'm looking for a notary, I'll share my screen again with you guys. And I'm gonna bring my brother Tech in. We already live, Tech. What up, brother? Your volume's a little bit down.
Yeah, I'm about to change locations in a second. Yeah, I gotta.
Okay. Yeah, we're already live on YouTube. So
okay.
I'm about to show them Notary Cafe real quick.
Cool. Yeah, I got a lot of heat today, man. Goodness. Oh, God. I'm glad we're having a sales call today because I'd love to get your thoughts on some stuff.
Pull that up. Oh man, it pulled up the one. You can hear
it? Yeah.
Hold on, let me pull up Notary Cafe, y'all. Okay, so here's Notary Cafe. Now, I'm gonna give you guys an inside tip on what I do when I'm looking for a notary. Now, just reverse engineer what I'm gonna tell you in order to set up your profile accordingly, okay? So one thing about Notary Cafe is that I could just simply type in my zip code of wherever that client is going to be at, and then I hit search, right? Now pay attention. As it's searching for the notaries, as you notice, all the pro members pop up first. So if you have a couple of dollars to spare to shave off your checks or whatever, get the pro version. I don't think the pro version is a lot. I'm not sure how much it costs, but as you see, the pro versions pop up first. So the people that are able to get on the first page are more likely to get called on. Now, the second thing that I look for is the percentage that their profile is completed. Very, very important. Now you can see this person finished 100% of their profile. I like that. That's an A+ in my book, right? Now this person here that has 32%, that's a failing grade if you were to put that in the scholastic type of thing, right? So I'm not calling this person at all because they couldn't take enough time to finish their profile. So keep that in mind. If you're going to do Notary Cafe, there's a rating scale on that, right? So you want to keep that in mind. Again, here's another person, 56% of their profile completed. I'm not calling that person. So if other business owners are looking at profiles the same way I look at profile before I hire a notary to run an assignment, they're going to judge you on this as well. So 100%, excellent. 3256, just think about it. Just think about what that grade profile would be in school. Would that be an F? Would that be a D? Would that be a B? Would that be an A-, right? 76%, not really. I'm gonna skip over that person. 88% is a little bit better. 72%, again, I would skip over that person. 84 is okay. I'm going after the 100%. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go after the 100% first, and then if I can't get somebody at the 100% mark, then I'm gonna go down to like in the 90s and then the 80s. But that's how I search for notaries. Let's take a look at a 100% profile here. Tech, you're on mute too, brother, by the way.
Okay, gotcha. And when would you use this? When would you?
Natasha West Mason, shout out to her. Don't know her, never used her before, but the fact that she finished 100% of her profile, I'm cool with that. Okay, so she has a nice professional profile picture on here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have a professional profile picture, there are AI tools that you can actually use to, like you'll have to upload like 10 pictures and the AI will generate a professional photo with a nice suit and everything. I think, what was the company that I used? And they'll save you hundreds of dollars from getting a photo shoot. What is that? What is that? What's that photo? My glass is kind of dark. Let me see if I can find it for you and I'll put it in the chat. Tech, you don't remember the name of that photo?
I don't remember it. There's so many of them now, but yeah, that was a while back. I don't remember it though.
Hold on. This might be it right here. Save you guys thousands and thousands of dollars today, man. You want to add anything, Tech, while I look this up?
Yeah, the using Notary Cafe, like when would you use? You might be asking, when would I actually use Notary Cafe? I used it yesterday. It might happen on a daily basis. Maybe if you decide to have, so here's the situation. So the situation was this: it was about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I got a call from a guy who identified himself as an attorney. And he was basically asking one signature that he had a declination of trust, you know, some lady who didn't want to be on her trust. But it was just one signature. And he was adamant about it being like, can you come like in the next like 5 minutes? Like he kept saying that. He said, all right, I just want to make sure, can someone be out here, you know, in the next 20 minutes? As I'm going through the questions, he's saying that. And you don't want to turn those away. Even if you can't do it, you don't want to, you know, worry about it later, right? Seal the deal, get the appointment. So I did that. And I went on Notary. It was 1:30. I had somewhere to be, probably about an hour and a half, and I still hadn't gotten ready yet. But that doesn't mean I can't accept that appointment. So Notary Cafe is the go-to. Sometimes I have like 5 or 6 people who I rotate. And there's so many factors, like, what did you charge the client for that expedited rush delivery service? And then how difficult is it, or what do you perceive it to be? How difficult do you perceive it to be? Is this something you can just give away to somebody, or is this an opportunity that you can meet a new client, you can meet a new notary, you can expand? So what I did was, I instead of put it into the worst case scenario, I can go and execute the appointment. Worst case scenario, and I actually ended up doing that. But I went on Notary Cafe to find somebody who I believe I could just, you know, use this opportunity to give somebody an appointment, expose them to something other than real estate, and you know, I can build my notary Rolodex. So it's the 3-for-1. Somebody gets paid, actually 4-for-1. Really, the assignment gets fulfilled. Some notary gets paid. You build a new client. You know, so Notary Cafe is a great tool, man. I wish that I'm a little bit more strict when it comes to, like, stringent when it comes to people. Like, you really got to bring it. And I shouldn't be that harsh on people on their profiles. But one thing that I look for are the Gmail accounts. I look for those. And if somebody has a professional email, that automatically elevates them to me. And it all comes back to what they're getting paid, man. It all comes back to what I'm willing to pay this person to do it right this very moment. And if they can fulfill it, Notary Cafe has never really let me down. I mean, I've seen some duds, but overall, it's quality stuff on there. And I just think
it's pretty solid.
It's solid, yeah. I continue, like I said, I did it yesterday, so I don't think that it's a bad resource. I like it a lot. I would say the one thing though, it makes you a better notary because you know what qualities you want to see in somebody, or what you want to. Like, if somebody was looking for me, what would I want them to see? Because I'm looking for them, and I know what a good quality notary should present. I know how it should look. You know, pictures. Descriptions. What do they talk about in the description? Not that it disqualifies you, but if there's certain things that I might not, you know, I might not want to entertain. Phone numbers. Usually, sometimes people put their home addresses in there, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, like you just said, Tech, you can model some of their profile, especially if they're ranking high, right? Like this, Natasha says, I worked in the international banking industry and corporate real estate for 15 years as a leasing administrator. You know what I mean? So things like that would let you know that this person is probably skilled with real estate documents, right? So they give you a nice profile, and then look at your own profile when you're designing it and see if that kind of helps out. She has her logo here and then maybe a couple of other things. And then she has multiple different phone numbers on there. Address.
So call her up.
You said call her up?
Yeah. See what she up to.
Unless I had a lead for her, I wouldn't call her.
Yeah, we're not playing.
Yeah. Or if I'm going to have some more leads in that area, then I would call her and, you know, give her a heads up and see if she would be interested in working with my agency. She even put her prices here. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan, because a lot of deals are very customized. So I would kind of stay away from that. But if you guys want to put your price in, put your price in.
Yeah, I agree with you. You're like confined to that now. Like,
yeah.
All right, you said it. All right.
Right, because look, a refi for $75, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to get $100 and something when somebody found you on Notary Cafe and they said, well, your pricing on Notary Cafe says $75 for a refi. You really can, you know, then if you try to switch it up on them, you look untrustworthy, you look shady. So I would kind of stay away from putting the pricing, because again, it depends on location. It depends on if you're printing out paper, if there's scan backs. It's a customized order. So a lot of deals are different, and you can't really pigeonhole the deal on a certain price.
How about this? What if the second time the person's going out there? Does that change the story, right? You don't even know until you've spoken to the person calling you. It might be the second time this person has to come out there.
That's true.
I'm not saying that person, but I'm saying, you know, that client might have been serviced. This might be the second time. Somebody else, for some reason, something didn't go complete, you know, the right way. So now you have to go out there again. You know, some people think that could be a disadvantage, but I think that could be an advantage. That could be a benefit. Yeah, I had a similar situation where somebody asked me, oh my God, you know, they do the exaggeration of the price. Oh my God, why is it $268? And I say, if the person comes out twice, you know, will they charge you again? If you have to show up in the court, will they charge you for those things? No. If you have to print something, will they charge you for those things? Will they nickel and dime you? No. Because if there's an error and somebody has to come back out there, or somebody has to, let's say you no longer, and these are real scenarios, let's say you're no longer in the state. We have to overnight something to Arizona. Will they charge you for that, or will they hold your documents hostage? No, we'll cover those things. That's why we charge a premium. That's why we can do it. Because number one, first of all, you don't make the mistakes you try not to make the mistakes, you minimize it. So that way you can keep a larger, you know, spread, larger margin. But if let's say in the event something does happen, you can go out there, man. You can go back.
All right. So the website is called studio.tryitonai.com. Studio.tryitonai.com. It will generate, like, so basically you would have to upload about 10 photos, and then basically it's going to, you know, AI generate some. Now, some of these photos will have you looking cross-eyed and shit. Some of them will have you looking like you go march in the gay parade. It is what it is, right? So, but you select the ones that you like. Some of them, they give you double chins and double cheeks. You know what I mean? So, but I think it's like $10 or $15. Now, when I did a photo shoot, I spent like damn near $300 for that photo shoot. So the fact that I can get 100 pictures for about $15, and you know, I'll find some. This one looked like I don't know, man. This one got me looking real crazy, man. and you know, some of them will give you extra fingers and shit. But I wind up grabbing at least, you know, 5 good ones. And anybody that understands photography and stuff like that, you ever see when they're using one of those what do they call those?
The magnifying
glass to look at photos. They'll take like 1,000 pictures, and only like maybe 3 or 4 of them will make it to maybe the website or the magazine and stuff. So that's just a natural thing. But the 2 to 3 that you can get out of it, or you might get lucky and get like 10 of them, you can make those work. You can really make these work. Yeah, this shit is bugged right here. But you guys get the picture. I put the website in the chat. You guys can see what that, check it out for yourself. It's only like $15 to get 100 pictures, and that will save you on that. And then you can use that to put it on your profile pictures if you don't have any good profile pictures for, you know, Notary Cafe, 123 Notary, Rotary.com is another good one. So you guys can do that. So I had another question on here, Tech. So the question is, what pricing strategy should I use to competitively sell my notary services?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard question, but it definitely boils down to the individual. Some people will approach it. Some people have full-time jobs. Some people work part-time, or they have multiple businesses, so they don't have all the time in the world. So if that's somebody like you, and somebody like me, you may not want to block off 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock to just do notary. You may want to block off, you know, maybe 1 or 2 hours, but if you could, like we always do, you know, do it. Like, you've never done this full time, have you? Never, right?
Never.
So some people might think, how is that even possible? And you might not even have done it part-time. You've done it semi-part-time. But when you block off a designated time and then you associate a value with that, let's say you go from 9 to 3 o'clock, and then you say, I'm just going to do notary at this point. So let's say you don't get any calls during that 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Then what? Like, I would say continue to live, do your thing, knock out business, run errands, do what you have to do, run other businesses, go to work. But for the time that you specifically designate to notary, I'm saying when a phone call comes, you go execute your appointment, assign the value or assign the price to that time. Not so much, I'm gonna be, my business hours are from 7 o'clock to 11 p.m. and you know, my hours of operations are during this time. Well, the truth is you're doing stuff throughout that time, right? You might be driving, you might be answering emails, you might be on the phone, you might be taking your kids to work, to school, you might be doing all kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if a call comes, is what you were doing more important than that phone call, or is it more valuable in terms of, I was getting ready to drop my grandma off at the nursing home, but a phone call came in. I was going to take my son, you know, to the dentist or whatever, and then a phone call comes in. Well, that phone call is worth $350. Can I put off what I was getting ready to do? Is it worth it to put off what I was getting ready to do to go and execute that appointment? So my pricing structure is based upon what I was getting ready to do already. Like, I was getting ready to go mow the lawn, or I was getting ready to go to the mailbox. or I was getting ready to go do my laundry or take a nap. But somebody needs a power of attorney at the airport. And they paid me $217. Is an hour or it's 30 minutes or however long it's gonna take for you to go execute that appointment? Is it worth me not doing or putting off having dinner with my wife? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I would price it. So price it aggressively. Like, so using that method, it would hurt you to go cheaper, to drop your price to accommodate somebody else's time. Yesterday, a guy booked an appointment. I ain't spoke to this guy since 2019. He was excited. He was genuinely excited to hear me. He hasn't spoken to me since I was answering the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, since I was like, this tech, and I don't even answer the phone as tech anymore. Like, I don't even, that's when he knew me, right? But my prices has completely changed from back then.
Right.
And for me to charge him a reservation price, or for me to try to charge him a priority price, it completely falls into that. My cat banging on the door. So it's got to make sense. Like, it wouldn't make sense to lower your prices or to do something that you may feel like, damn, it wasn't even worth it, or I'm doing more work than I'm getting paid for. I would say your strategy has to be literally worth your time.
Yeah. So we got a question from Key out in Los Angeles, right? Says he's having a problem receiving a certain amount of calls on average, right? And the issue that he's having is when he gives the price in Los Angeles, they're always telling him, "I'll call you back."
Yeah. I'll call you back. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say to that, Tech?
Man, there's 100 different ways to answer that.
Mhm.
The best thing I would do, if somebody asks you the price, if that's the first thing they say, you say, "Hi, this is Keys Notary," and then they say, "Hey, how much does it cost for a notary?" And then you give them a price.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what's happening? Like, I would, to be honest, I would book a call with us and sit down, because that's a question. There's 100 different ways to navigate that. And that really comes down to just, sales training and negotiation training, right? But let's just say they call you. Let's say that's the scenario. Hey, this is ABC Notary. And they say, "Hey, how much does it cost to do a notary?" That's like the first question out their mouth. So what I typically do is this. Depending on what the sound of their voice, I may gauge to see if they're I'll just say this. I jokingly, you guys hear me say this, $1 million. It's $54,000, sir. And then they'll laugh. If they laugh, then that's a good sign. All right. Because then I'll keep going. I'll say, no, it's $54,000 per signature, right? Anyway. But if somebody says that, think about the profile of that person. That person already can't afford you. All right. So show them what it is that they're paying for. Somebody says, "Hey, man, how much does it cost for a notary?" I don't even answer the question. I'll say, "Where do you live?" I'll say, "Who's all signing this document?" Because it might be $1 million if you have 1 million signatures. I can't give you a price if I don't know what you have. Until you tell me that it's only one signature, then I can't tell you a price. So I need to figure out some information from you. So I mean, that's my favorite way to do it. There's other ways to do it. The other way to do it would be the other strategy is, put it this way, and this is why I think you should sit down with us, because if you're going through your phone calls and then they're saying, "How much is it?" at the end of the phone calls, that's a different story. All right. That says, they're like, "Hey man, I'm trying to get my passport signed, and I'm also getting a divorce. So in order for me to get this document, the insurance company sent me this paperwork. I just have to get it notarized, and I just want to know, kind of make an appointment." And then you tell them, "Well, it's going to be $117, right?" If that's your first response, and they say, "Oh, no, I'll call you back," right? I would listen to how you're structuring the phone call, and if you think that your price is too high, if you think that's the reason why people are rejecting you, let me tell you, that's not the reason why. Your price can't be too high. It's impossible for it to be too high. It comes more from the presentation and whether or not they know what they're paying for. If you can express to the person what it is that they're getting, because sometimes people don't know exactly what it is a notary really truly does. They just know that I got a letter from the DMV and I got to go get it notarized. So the question of how much does it cost, and they say, oh no, that's too much. Okay. What was said before that? What was said after that? But typically when people say, all right, it costs too much, that's typically, that means that they already can't afford you. So if you're looking for a response to that, say, what do you say after that? What do you say after someone's, what's your objection? What's your rebuttal? Again, it really boils down to the phone call. I mean, I would love to role play with you, and I'll show you a couple different things. You know, put it this way: if somebody says my price is too high, I'll hang up. Or if I think that the deal's already been lost, I've told people, well, some people think that's cheap. It's a 1/10 of the cost of an attorney. I'll tell people, do people, or I'll go into further questions because I'll say, you know, do you have the documents already prepared? You know, other ancillary services, do you need does the document need to be shipped? Is this original? Do you need duplicates? I'll kind of build up the value. But I just think it's impossible for your price to be too high. It's all about the positioning. It's all about how you present it to the client. And I've got countless number of videos of demonstrating this too. So, you know, we had that one, I won't give her name, but we had the one client or one student who said the same thing. She was like, some people call me and then they find me on my Google business page, and then I tell them how much it costs, and then they tell me that it's too much, and then that they can go get it cheaper else. I'm like, yeah, they probably don't know what they're paying for. And then we listen to her phone call and you can clearly see, oh, you're charging people $150 for nothing. People have a right to question you.
Yeah, Keyjax, I put the link for you to book a discovery call with us in the chat, and it's also in the description below for that. For you could, yeah, we would love to like hear how you're handling the phone calls, how you're positioning yourself, what's your greeting like, how you're delivering the pricing. You know, all of that plays a factor in a person saying, I'll call you back. And then also when they do tell you that I'll call you back, you got to have what we call a heat-seeking missile.
All day, all day.
We call it a heat-seeking missile. That means nobody gets away with you without a missile in their ass. All right. You said the link didn't work. Oh. Go to the description below. It should work. And it should be under Done For You program. Go to the Done For You program. It should be able to pull up from that point. But go ahead, Tech.
It's impossible to be too high. I'm just saying, like, somebody they literally can't tell you that that's too much. They can't say that. They don't even know what they're paying for it. So it would always have to be, it would come down, and I want you to humble yourself, because I have had to look myself in the mirror and say, yeah, I need help in this area. I need help in this arena. Yeah, these are sales calls, like you say all the time. These are not notary, and you know, these are sales calls that you're taking. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll give you another example. I mean, I'm an attorney or I'm a paralegal, and I represent an intellectual property company, and we've got to send some patent applications to Saudi Arabia. True story. And there's no indication. The only thing, so when people hear other countries, instantly they think apostille, right? And we've worked with other notaries who will role play with them, and then we'll say, oh yeah, this document is going to Portugal or is going to somewhere, and then they'll inject that it's an apostille. I'm like, no, nobody said nothing about no apostille. So now all of a sudden you kind of now you've made the assumption that this is they haven't told you what they have yet. They haven't told you what they're planning to do with that document is really none of your business unless they share it, unless they offer it up. But that can kill the deal right there if you start assuming what the client has in their hand. Like we say, don't count people's pockets. You don't know what they're if I'm trying to get a guardianship letter over my niece, like that's just all I'm doing. You don't know what I'm trying to do after that, and it's really none of your business. But person calls, says we're trying to get a power of attorney for some patents that's in Saudi Arabia, and then they say, oh, that's some apostille. So all of a sudden you're thinking hundreds and hundreds of $100. And they're like, it's just one signature. Why is it hundreds and hundreds of dollars? See, you haven't built up that value. If they tell you that it needs to go to Saudi Arabia, then that's a signal. That's a good trigger. So I would start with, who's signing the document. I would build it up to, oh, this document needs to be sent to the Secretary of State. And they're like, yeah, it actually, somebody did say something about Secretary of State. Do you handle that? Yes, we do. And now you present the price, right? You don't instantly tell them right from the jump, oh, it needs to go international, so it got to be a apostille. Now all of a sudden you're thinking, cha-ching, bro. No, they don't. Avoid assuming what somebody has in their pockets. Avoid assuming what the document is until they give you that information, right? And without interrogating the person too as well, right? You're trying to like, oh, I know you have an apostille. I know you have it. I know you have it. Well, they may not have ever heard of that word before. How many times have you asked somebody, is this apostille? They're like, what is that? They never even heard that term before.
Mm-hmm.
So you can talk yourself out of deals just like that as well.
Yeah, K Jax, we got your entry. So thanks for booking that discovery call. So we're gonna move to the next question, Tech. So are there specific target markets or industries that I should focus on when selling my services?
Anybody who answers the phone or anybody who calls. It's hard to, you can go after specific industries. I think so. I think you can really target specific industries, but that just means that you're framing your marketing to that specific industry, because I don't target Spanish speakers, but I get at least one or, I yesterday had 3. I had 1 so far today. Some days I get none, but do you go after the Spanish speaking population? Because obviously there's a need there, but I don't. I just go after whoever calls me. That's my population. Whoever needs a piece of paper and a stamp. But if you want to niche down, say, I just want to work with estate planning, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, everybody, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do and hit the thumbs up. Greatly appreciate that. So my take on that would be, you have to adjust to whatever your market, whatever document is in demand in your market, right? So in my market, here in Chicago and Illinois, power of attorney is in high demand. Affidavits is in high demand, and quick claim deeds are in high demand. So me pushing apostille would not, really be in my favor, because I would kind of like, I would be advertising for a very small market in the state of Illinois, and I would completely be dismissing the hottest documents in my area. So after I ran a consistent monitoring of the market of Illinois, specifically Illinois, I found out it was power of attorney documents that were in very high demand, right? So at that point, I started to craft my website and my online presence around power of attorney, which immediately made my company look like specialists in the market. So if I was competing with another notary and we both popped up on Google, Bing, or, you know, any type of search engine, they're going to, I'm going to go out of my way and say, we're the #1 power of attorney notary experts, right? Because we've done so many of them. That is immediately going to differentiate myself from the person that just says, I'm a general notary, we notarize everything. Right? Now, can I notarize a real estate document? Absolutely. Can I notarize, you know, business documents? 100%. But for the people of Illinois, I want to hit them square between the eyes. I want them to know, like, when it comes to power of attorney, we don't go with no one else but this company. And to this day, referrals and repeat customers know us as that. They know us as the power of attorney. Like, whenever we get a power of attorney, we're calling you guys. So understanding what is the most popular document in your area, and it's not hard to find out. We actually have it in the, if you don't have the Notary Special Ops workbook, you guys got to get that workbook, man. We have already sold quite a few of them. It's only $37. It has $495 worth of value. It is hot. It will track what is what is needed in your market, because the worst thing that you can do is you're promoting a service that is not needed in your neck of the woods. If you're pushing for I-9s because you heard I-9s are super popular, or you heard some guru come on YouTube and say, man, I made X amount of money off of I-9s, but you're in North Carolina and nobody is getting I-9s, you will be wasting a lot of time and a lot of money promoting something that just isn't popular in your backyard. Months could go by and you're just promoting this stuff, and it's like nothing, no phone calls, nothing. But you're like, I'm gonna see it through. You know, us entrepreneurs can be stubborn at sometimes. We could be very stubborn, and we're like, we're gonna push through, we're gonna push through, we're gonna push through. I'm gonna make sure I-9s make me $10,000 a month, but it's not needed in your market. There's no demand for it in your market.
Yeah, nobody checking for it.
Nobody checking for it. So don't get the call tracking system with the Special Ops workbook. It's going to help you a lot. Plus, there's call scripts in there, and there's also bonus videos, bonus material that you can actually go over that will help you refine your skills. It's the only workbook you'll ever need in this notary industry. I claim that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna claim that. It is the only workbook you'll ever need in this notary industry.
yeah, I double down on that. And I know it sounds biased, but listen, so before you get phone calls, because you never know when they're going to come. You never know. You could be driving, you could be in the front yard, you don't know. But before you get a phone call, this can't be like your very first time. It'll sound like it. And then you wonder why when people say, oh, that costs too much, because it sounds like you've never done this before. And it can, maybe we should call on those other notaries from Notary Cafe so we can demonstrate this. And so people can actually see this. Well, what I'm saying is the call tracking system, that's what I did for 3 months. I did 3 or 4 months, week by week, day by day. I broke it down. I showed that in the last video where it was an Excel sheet. I broke it down. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, Monday through Sunday. 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, like 1 o'clock. I literally said, this was a POA. This was an affidavit. This was a theft affidavit. This was a passport application. And for 3-4 months, and it became very clear. Oh, and that's really what helped with the pricing as well, because I would go to some theft affidavit appointment and it'd be 25 minutes, and then another one would be 45 minutes, but it'd be on the other side of town. And then I would say, damn, it took me 45 minutes to do all that, but I only got paid $30. Like, what? Oh, no. On this one, it took me 50 minutes round, like from door to door, and I got paid $165. This one is way worth my time. Let me put more resources into appealing to people who just need same-day signatures. It's a last-minute thing, so that's my thing now. Estate planning stuff usually days out, but 70%, overwhelming majority of stuff was just like, hey man, 30 minutes from now, do you have anybody available like in the next 2 hours? Same day appointment, boom. What is it, power of attorney? Yeah, we're in the hospital right now, and this is during COVID, and I'm not vaccinated, so I have to find somebody real quick. I couldn't go into the hospitals, right? So now I need to reach out and find notaries, and I have to ask them, do you have a vax card so that you can go into the hospitals or go into the nursing facilities, or do I need to stand outside the Tiger Toledo move, do it through the window? Right? Some places let you do that. Not every place lets you do that because they didn't want to wheel the person out or they couldn't get out of the bed. But I'm saying the tracking for 3 months, I tracked it, everything, and I saw, all right, where's all the income, where's it coming from? Same day appointments, hospitals, power of attorneys, affidavits, dealerships. Oh man, here we go. Wednesdays, on Mondays, and you start to see patterns. Oh, 3 o'clock and 10 o'clock, that's when the majority of phone calls are coming in. Oh, power of attorneys are usually done in the morning when people need something taken care of. A bank will call me and they say they have clients in the afternoon. Can we go out? The lawyers will call me on Saturdays. And you start to, this becomes a picture, man. But you have to write it down. You got to document it, and the call tracking it'll put some structure to this. Otherwise, you're just guessing, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You're just shooting in the dark.
So we're going to our fourth question. What advertising channels should I utilize to reach a wider audience for my notary services? Now, I want to kind of like narrow this down to social media, the way notaries are using social media right now, the Instagrams, the Facebooks and stuff, which I have my opinion on how they're approaching it. I don't think it's very effective the way they're approaching it. They're actually trying to reach clients, get clients off of social media for notary businesses. And I think that's not the most effective approach. The reason is when people jump on social media, they're jumping on social media for recreation, right? They're looking for some type of entertainment. Let's be honest, they're on Instagram. The guys are looking at booties and ass. You know what I mean? They're looking at breast and BBLs, man. So that's what you're competing with when you're jumping on social media. So the average person is not going on Instagram saying, notary, find me a notary near me for a power of attorney. It ain't happening, my dude. Somebody is not going on TikTok and be like, hey, I need to get a loan signing. TikTok, search for a notary for mortgage refi.
Hate to break it to you.
You know it ain't happening. But again, this was what happened. You spent a lot of time. You spent a lot of money on creating these cool little videos and these designs and stuff like that. And, you know, you're on Canva scraping, you know, looking for great images and stuff, and you're posting it on, and you're wasting a lot of time and money on these sites that it is generally not used as a search engine for that type of profession. So what's your take on that, Tech? And then I'll give my 2 bits on how I approach social media for assignments.
Yeah. So the question was about marketing or advertising.
Yeah, what to reach a wider market.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? What is? I guess you can ask yourself what is the market? Like we were talking to the young lady who wanted to reach a younger generation. She was talking about Generation X, millennials, Generation Y. Or is it the market? Is it just men? You want more men, or you want more attorneys? You want more, like, what? I guess what is the market? You always got to have a goal in mind. Otherwise, you're just shooting in the dark. And that's why you end up on social media or end up on Instagram posting up messages. You might as well put it on the back of the yellow pages. Nobody looking at social media. All right. I've gotten one appointment on Instagram. I will admit, one appointment on Instagram in 5 years, 4 years.
5 years.
One appointment. And it was from a real estate agent in my town who had, you know, she had a client who asked her if she knew a notary. And then she just happened to think of me. And then so she reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, I got a client who needs a notary. I just thought about you because you're on Instagram. Once. All right. So there is that. But you know, if you're trying to reach a broader market, I would avoid Instagram. I would avoid Facebook. Now, there's some argument that says having that comprehensive approach, and we've talked to, you know, marketing agencies who come of an approach. You know, we've had meetings with them, and they would say, you need one, we can help you with one post per day on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. We can do one post a day. We can for 7 days, you know, one about current events, one about the weather. I'm like, nobody's looking on. I'm like, no thanks. No, thank you. I can see how you approaching somebody who may be relatively new or inexperienced and then telling them, you need to post on Facebook in order to get more clients, in order to broaden your market. I can see how that can go off on some people, and some people may agree to that, but you and I both know that's snake oil. So how do you test that? It's snake oil. Don't take my word for it. Test it. So I would do this. Here's how you test it. The next time somebody call you, ask them. Just ask them, hey, where'd you, by chance, you know, just curious, how'd you find me? You know, thumbtack, you don't say Google, you don't say anything but Instagram or Facebook. All right, now if you want to get more advanced and start talking about the whole pixels and following people around the internet and stuff and tracking and all that, you know, I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know, because the notary is usually very quick, very straightforward, very transactional. You know, what, you're going to follow somebody around for 180 days with your Facebook pixel after they've already gotten their travel consent form done like 2 months ago? And then you're going to, because, you know, you can follow the pixel, follow them for 6 months. And then what? You're wasting your ad dollars there doing that. So I don't think Facebook, Instagram stuff, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
So one of the methods I would suggest that works pretty effectively, like, so for me, I cold call the notaries. I know you've done that too. You'll go on Google and then you'll do your notary network system, which is really, really well. So for those that don't want to get on the phone or talk to other notaries, but you would like to expand your reach on there, what I would do is like a place like Instagram. One thing about notaries is that they're very proud people of their profession, which is fantastic because it makes it very easy to target them, right? It's like shooting fish in a barrel and shit. It's just like everybody's putting the word notary in their profile name with Instagram and sometimes on Facebook, but I see it more heavily with Instagram. So what I would do is I would reach out to notaries, and it really wouldn't matter where they're from. But you can target your neck of the woods if you want to, and send them an email, not an email, but a DM, and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm a notary in the state of Chicago. If you ever need a notary in this area, here's my contact information. That's simple. And then you can also say, if you would be interested, we get clients that need assignments in other areas. If you're interested, I'd like to share some assignments with you as well. So it doesn't look like you're a grabby person, right? So it doesn't look like you're a needy, creepy person. It looks like you can actually bring something to the table for them as well. So I never like going to a situation where I'm in just the receiving end. I'm just take. It's not a good feeling. And that's probably why a lot of you guys do not canvas and go to title companies, law firms and stuff, because you don't go knocking on their door saying, hey, I'm a notary, can I have some business, please? It gives you a beggar's feeling, and it doesn't feel good to be a beggar. But if you position yourself where you can actually add value to that company as well and say, hey, we get assignments, we'd like to facilitate some of our clients over to you, it's different. It's a different feeling, trust me. You're like, well, I get clients that, I remember going to a law firm. It was, I forgot her name. She's Jaleesa out in Homewood, Illinois. And we did a power of attorney for her. And she was explaining. So I said, when I was doing the power of attorney, I asked her after everything was done, we were sitting in the conference table, and I was like, so tell me all the services that you provide. And she was giving me the services, and she was like, yeah, well, we do divorce and stuff like that. She was like, you know what? I just talked to a client that is going through a divorce and needed an attorney. Is it okay that I refer her over to you? She was like, oh my God, yes. And I referred the client over to her. They did business together. They broke bread. And guess what? Now that lawyer calls me all the time for her stuff. So it's different when you change the dynamic of your relationship, where it's like, hey, I just got my notary commission. I have a laser printer, and FedEx isn't far from me, and I have this scanner in my trunk and shit and all of this stuff. We could do this for you. Give me some business. Give me some business. And then you come across like you're doing them a favor, and they want business as well. They want money too. They want to grow their profit margins as well. So notaries are the same way. If you can talk to them and send them a nice DM and say, hey, I'm out here in Chicago, would love to run some of your assignments for you if you have anything in Chicago. But at the same token, we also get our own clients, and we may have some assignments in your area. Would it be okay to facilitate some of that work over to you? That's how you build relationships, yo.
Let me ask you something. Would you call that an advanced practice? Is that, some notaries are probably like, man, I just want appointments, man. Like, I just want to go out there and hustle. Would you say what you're describing, could a beginner do that, what you're describing?
Oh yeah, a beginner could do that all day. A beginner could, look, it's so easy that you could literally just copy and paste the shit. You could copy and paste that message. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it even easier. Have AI write that motherfucker. AI, write a tweet for a notary public persona of my availabilities to work with them as well as facilitate clients. And AI will write that shit for you, and you just tweak it. Just Dr. Dre that shit, man. Tweak that message and then copy and paste it, and you'll see what works and what doesn't work. And then tweak it some more. Soon, you'll have such a finely crafted message. And this is also done at scale.
Yeah.
Because how many notaries can you DM in one day? Hundreds. Just giving y'all some love here. I think we got a question. Yeah.
I think that I think it depends on how you look at it. Yeah, I think you can do this right out the gate. With the right direction, you can do it right out. You can implement something like that to where you're giving there's an exchange of value. It's not just a one-way street. It's got to be a two-way street, and that's really the only way to work. If it's just a one-way street, it's not going to work. If you can't, you asked why the title company isn't calling you. Oh, they used to call me every day. Now they don't call me at all. I wonder why.
So KC Mobile Notary says, I think people look up social media accounts just to see if you're active sometimes before they hire you. Well, I'll say this, Casey, I've hired many notaries, and not once have I ever jumped on their social media.
I've never looked at a social media.
Never. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care if you're blowing a hookah or you're blowing a blunt. I don't care. It's what I'm getting at that moment on the phone with you. If you sound professional enough, and I looked at your profile on Notary Cafe, that's my go-to, and you completed 100%, 92% of it, you answer your phone professionally, man, I am not going on your social media. I don't care. I'm not hiring you for a job ongoing. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand if somebody jumps on if I'm gonna hire this person full time, and then now I want to see what their social media profile, because they're gonna work internally with my company on an ongoing basis. So therefore, I don't want any crazy shit popping up. Be like, oh, this person represents U.S. Notary, and look at them, they're doing this debauchery. Then that might matter, but not for a one-off deal like that, or even if it's on a consistent basis. I don't care, as long as you are thorough at what you do, and you're professional with it. Man, live your life. Do what you do, boo-boo.
Yeah, keep it very simple. Like Andre says, keep it extremely simple as possible. Now, I think I know where she's coming from, or Casey is probably coming from. They're probably thinking Chicago Title Company wants to schedule an appointment for a loan closing, right? Here we go with this loan closing training, right? But let me look at their social media just to make sure that this person is actually real. I can kind of see where she's going with that, or he or she is kind of going with that. But I would refrain, like you said, unless it's like this is like a position in a company or a job or a role that's going to be somewhat ongoing. I wouldn't worry too much about that, because I'll tell you one thing: the Toyota dealership that needs 8 theft affidavits, they don't have time to scroll down your timeline for the last 3 months. They need to know, when I call this person, when the front desk or when my executive assistant calls the notary to schedule for my boss to sign off on 8 affidavits, can they do it? Number one, are they available? Number two, are they going to charge me $1 million? Number three, is this something that I send to my executive assistant, this is not going to be a flop? They're not going to say they're going to be here at 4:15, then they don't air a no show. Right? That's what people are looking for. That's why I'm saying people, your price can't be too high. It's only that they may not understand fully what they're paying for, because you have to express to them, you have to get that message across. So the loan signing mania, craziness industry that has pigeonholed people into using Instagram to, put this image that they're driving around, that they got this, that they're active. I would focus more on when you pick up that phone, can you express to this person that you're the last stop? This is it. This is it. And I think that your strength comes in that arena. When they call me, they know, all right, this is the right person for the job. This is the right person. This is the right company.
We're gonna do one more question before we let out Tyke.
Cool. This is fun, man. I like the sales meeting. I love it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. Yeah, I wish we can do this more often.
Yeah, we're gonna do it once a week, brother. Because I just feel like all major companies that I've ever worked for all had a weekly sales meeting just to keep everybody sharp, man. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. It's really true. You don't use it, you lose it if you're not constantly learning. And because people buying habits are changing every day. And if you don't have your finger on that pulse, you'll be using some outdated ass version of how you need to convince or persuade this person to purchase your services. And they're like, nah, I'm good. And they'll hit you with the, I'll call you back. So I really believe that this notary sales meeting, by the way, we're going to actually do another one tomorrow. We're bringing in Dawn from the Ghost Squad out there in Florida, and we'll be doing a double bubble. So today we got my brother Tech, and then tomorrow we'll have Queen Dawn, and she'll be sharing some insights on the notary sales meeting. So again, you guys better subscribe and hit that notification bell just so you know when we're doing this live. So let me see. All right, we have another.
And then they're part of the sales meeting as well. They're, you guys are in on it as well. It's almost like a group sales. But you're right. Every Monday or every Tuesday, whatever it is, there's a weekly roundup. You just get on the same page. Ritz Carlton, in his book, he talks about that, how that's the first thing he would do when he go into these new hotels. He would round the entire workforce of everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody, from the people who clean the floors to the people who prepare the breakfast, everybody. And then he would ask questions to to the managers, to the employees, and everybody would have a chance to talk and give input.
Yeah. So here's the last question. How do I handle client inquiries and consultations effectively?
Yeah. Now that is a great question. I like that question, because that could take you to the next level, like instantaneously. I would say if you take the position as I'm the person who's going to facilitate a meeting. I just work for this company. If you kind of take on that role, you remove some of the emotion out of it, and then now you're just serving the person who called you. So, for instance, I got a deal going through right now with having an issue with one of the notaries. Their signature got rejected twice from the SOS. Mm-hmm. That costs money, bro.
Yeah.
This notary is now costing me money now. Mm-hmm. All right, they've already gotten paid. We have to overnight additional jurats and acknowledgments down to Southern California. Twice.
Yeah.
So the client is understanding. Thankfully, the client understands this is not our issue. This is not on us. There's somebody in the Secretary of State's office who's reviewing the signature, and then they're just not they're kicking it back. Now, after the second time, they're like, all right, come on now. Like, what else you got left? All right. And I feel really bad, but I'm thinking to myself, all right, I just work here. Okay. This is what I get. So let me truly try to help them get this power of attorney fulfilled. And let me find out another way to help them get to take care of. So when I'm dealing with customers, I'm thinking of them from that position. I'm a true servant. This person, thankfully, they paid me good money in advance to help them with their problem. And I can't take that for granted. So if I'm taking that position, if I'm humbling myself, that's how I'm approaching every single phone call. I know that in the event that your document gets rejected, not once, but twice, I'm not going to blame this on you. I'm not going to look for excuses. I'm truly, and if it costs me money, then, I guess that's the lesson that I have to take. But this is, my communication and my engagement with the customers, this is how I improve that relation, because I just work here and I'm just serving. I'm here to serve you. I'm not going to take this personal. I'm not going to throw blame or try to look for some easy excuse or avoid, answering your phone calls or look for any type of reason why. But I work for you, and until this document gets satisfied, then I'll be on it. So that's the approach that I take, and I'm always looking to expand. I'm always looking to get better. And if you guys can give me some insight because my payment processor is not working well, or because my automated phone message thing hangs up on you after you press 0, then I'm going to take that input and then say thank you. You've given us you maybe have identified sort of a flaw in our throughput system. So thank you for helping us identify that. And here's what we can do to help you. That's my approach.
Yeah. So my approach definitely was the call script, because when I first started answering the phone calls with inquiries, sales inquiries, because that's really what it is. These are sales inquiries that you're getting clients calling in. We call it a TI call, telephone inquiry. Man, it is so important that you build trust within the first 3 to 5 seconds, right? And if you're unable to do that, the rest of the phone call could go completely to shit. So there was some structuring I had to do with designing the call script, getting that professional greeting, the body of the call script, get what we would call gathering intelligence, right? And then we would kind of like wrap it up at the tail end, and then we would do a strong recap. But the way we would do the recap, it was designed in a way to build a momentum where the person is in agreement with a lot of the stuff that we're saying. So again, get that special ops. If you don't have that special ops workbook, you're doing your business an injustice. It's only $37. You can grab it right now. The link is in the description. But I had to design that because in the first month or two, I realized that I was all over the place. And here's the thing. If you don't control the phone call, the client will begin to control the phone call for you. They'll start telling you and making demands on your time, your schedule, your price. And I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. And then I wasn't prepared for curveballs that they would send me, right? So the client would say something like, wow, why is your price so high? And I did not have a rebuttal for that. So sometimes they would catch me off guard and I would freeze, and I would wind up making a concession and lowering my price because of their, exaggeration of my price being too high. Let me know if you guys ever experienced that. The client says, wow, why is your price so high? And then you automatically made a concession and lowered your price. That is a trick, you guys, that they use on us. That is a trick that buyers use to get you to lower your price. That simple trick that takes about 2 seconds can actually save them like 30 to 50% off the price. It's masterful on their end when they know what they're doing. So I had to create these rebuttals. I had to create this flow. So from the beginning of the phone call all the way to the end, I'm in complete control of it. And I'm only speaking 10 to 15% of the time, and they're speaking more of like 90, 85% of it. Some of the notaries that I encounter talk way too damn much.
Yeah.
And they're talking themselves out of the sale. So, Tech, you wanted to plug in anything, brother?
Yeah, just I want to plug in the Blue Seal Special Ops Workbook. Go get it. I would recommend pulling up those scripts, and then in the morning time, this is what I did. I would read through it 30 times. It would take maybe like 15 minutes. Maybe you can even do it less than that. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, what I would do was here's the script right here. And I would just read through it. Thanks for calling my name. My name is blank. How may I help you? I need document notarized. Sure. And I just go through the whole thing. And then I would listen to myself, and then I would record myself, and I would try it multiple times. And there's different versions of it as well. Mm-hmm. But here's what it looks like. I would go and get it. And then there's some information if you want. If you want to, listen, there's layers to this. Yeah. At the beginning, it's fun, it's exciting, it's new, it's fresh. And then you find like, all right, I like this. I want to take this to the next level. I want to enjoy this. I want to see how I can maximize this. And then you start building in a little bit more of a foundation, or a little bit more of a protection. So that means the easy parts, like answering the phone, you got to get those, right? And now all of a sudden, now you can put your focus more on how do I price different services? Maybe how do I start reaching out to other notaries? But like this stuff, like the fundamentals, the basic stuff, I wouldn't be wishy-washy with that. I would dive into the call script and I would get that down immediately. And the sooner the better. I'm one of those people that it don't matter what I'm doing. Tiger can call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, I need a notary. And I can take him right through the call script. Boom, 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 boom. He can throw a bucket of water in my face and slap me across the nut, and I'll still be able to remember it because that's how important it is. And when you can do it like that, when you can internalize it in that way, right? Everybody's your client. Everybody's your client. It doesn't matter what they're calling for. Apostille, fingerprinting, it doesn't matter. Everybody's my client because I can book them. So get the book, yeah. I would get the workbook.
Awesome. And I wanted to make a special announcement. You guys, it is back. It is back. Yes, it is. The Power of Attorney. Yes, indeed, Tech. The Power of Attorney Masterclass for Notaries, the Halloween special. Yes, you could bring your costumes. It's going to be lit. You could bring bottles of liquor, whatever. Yo, we're just going to have fun. I'm actually designing a murder mystery game around Power of Attorney with this one. So it's going to be a contest. There's going to be a challenge in there. So that is for October 23rd. Right now we have a $30 discount offer credit that's going to be applied to your ticket for the first 5 people. For the first 5 people, you'll be able to save $30 off the ticket. Normally, the ticket starts at $97. You can get it for $67. Let me just go over a couple of things it's a 3-day live interactive workshop, you guys. I've done this Power of Attorney Masterclass for the last 3 to 4 years now. And I could tell you the results are real. These are text messages that I had to screenshot to show you guys it's real. Like people are getting like $149 for like 10 to 15 minutes of work. Okay. Not these long drawn out notary assignments. You can really get far with power of attorney. And right now it is power of attorney season. Somehow when it gets colder outside or the holidays approach, a lot of people want to get their financials financials affairs in order. So,
and when do they get paid for that one page paper? When do they get paid for that?
Immediately.
Not 40 days later?
Nope.
Oh.
Matter of fact, in the class, we'll show you how to get paid before you even notarize the document, before you even jump into your car and put the key in the ignition. Wow. We'll show you how to get paid before you do the assignment. So a couple of quick stats. As of 2019, there were approximately 4.2 million notary publics in the United States, right? So keep that in mind. There's only 4.2 million. I think it's at 4.4 right now of 2023. Now, also, we're going to do a hot seat. I'm going to invite my brother Tech to join us on that. So we're going to do a hot seat where we actually drill you on how to answer the phone for power of attorneys.
Woo, sweating already.
Yeah, right. Tech, isn't it always interesting when we do the hot seat? People sweating under their armpits, their sweat droplets off their forehead, their hands are sweaty, they're stuttering. It's magnificent, you guys, because we understand that we are pushing past a comfort zone that they're used to. So when we drill them, and then by the time we get to like the third drill, they're better than like 90% of the notaries out there that would answer for a power of attorney phone call. So here's some more testimonies of people, getting $300 for like 2 stamps. But the 4.2 million, right? Now here's another stat. It is estimated that about 10 million power of attorney documents are prepared each year in the United States. 10 million. There's only 4.4 million notaries in the United States. So what that means is that there's more than enough business out there. And as Tech and I know, most notaries don't even answer their damn phone.
Yeah.
So you're getting the overflow from them not even answering their phone. But I could go on and on about that, but I'm gonna just leave the link in the chat and then in the description for you guys. Tech, you want to add anything to that?
That's it, man. Good job. Yeah, I love the sales calls. Do it more often. Come to the sales calls, you guys. If you're a notary and you're thinking about transitioning into being a notary public, you're not a signing agent, you're not confined to that description and only doing title and all that stuff. There's another world out there, and I would encourage you to get involved. Don't be quiet. Make yourself known. Raise your hand. Don't hide in the shadows and lurk on people's pages. Come out. Make yourself known. Come to the events, the power of attorney master classes. Show yourself, guys. Like, what are you lurking in the shadows for? Let's go. You don't have to hide anymore. Just because you're not a loan signing agent doesn't mean that the world is over. There's more activity out here, and I would say probably the grass is greener. However you put it.
I'll say that it is greener, 100%. Tune in tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern time. We'll be bringing on Dawn Velez of Notary Nation out of Florida, where we'll be doing the part 2 of this notary sales meeting. Hope you guys got great value. Don't forget to subscribe. Get the notary special ops book. It's going to be a tremendous help, well past its value. And book a discovery call if you would like to talk to us. I don't want to give you guys too much. Just go in the description and see what fits you best.